I'm just going to roll right into the next video, which if this is the first video you're watching, isn't going to make sense to you. But if you go back and watch the other video, you'll hear me talk about doing this second video now, and that's going to make way more sense with context. And that's not just like a shameless plug for you to watch the other video. It's just a continuation of the story because it's only been like 5 seconds since I stopped the other video. But in the real world where you might not have watched that, it could be a lot more than 5 seconds. So I just talked about In Too Deep using a format that I made because progress. Second game I'm going to talk about today, fourth game in the series, and this is the Games I Got series, and this I should probably tell you who I am, because they do that all the time. They say, you know, hello, it's Quackalope, or they say, hi, I'm Alex from Board Game Co., and all these other people, they introduce themselves. So my name is Devin, and this is Devin Talks Tabletop, which has a nice little bit of alliteration, which is why I liked it. It is a little bit of a mouthful. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll have a full brand redesign in a day or in 2 years. But for now, it's Devin Talks Tabletop. And this is the Games I Got series where I have a format now and I talk about the games in my collection. And it's the only playlist I have. It's the only video series I have because I think if I do like 100 or more of these videos, I will have been consistent making videos, and then maybe I'll do another series that's actually relevant to you guys outside of just learning the games that are at my house. Because at a certain point, you're probably like, I don't need to see another game that it's your house. But I'm a completionist, so I'm going to do it all. Tapestry. I have this out on my table already. I didn't get it out for the sake of this video. I have it out because I need to continue playing this with my wife and with whoever will play it with me, to be honest. Because I need to review the expansion that just came out, Arts and Architecture. I have Plans and Ploys, but I don't have to review that. I just bought that personally. But I need to review Arts and Architecture, which means I want to get another game of this end to where I've played this like, 6 or 7 times, to where then I could put in the expansion and I have a little bit of context. All of that is unnecessary background information for you, but I can talk about Tapestry. What is it? What is it? Because that's the first thing in the format. So I'm going to talk about the designers, which this is Jamey Stegmaier. So he actually does a decent amount of Stegmaier games design. Like, I mean, there are other people that design games that he publishes in that, publishing company. But he designed this one. And this one has got art by Andrew Bosley, which if you know, that's the guy who did Everdell and quite a few other ones with some really beautiful art. And then this also on this, because it's relevant, because there are these beautiful landmark sculptures in there. The sculptures are by Ron Brown, and so that's the designers and the artists. But if you don't know what Tapestry is, I'll let you know what it is. It's a civilization game, and it's really, some people are going to disagree with that, and that's fine. I'm a fan of Tapestry. I haven't gotten rid of it, so I have to be somewhat of a fan of it because I try to not keep games that I don't like. But it's a civilization game that is really more focused. It's got 2 elements to it. It's got 3 elements to it. It's got 3 major elements that take place. One is kind of 4 different tech trees or civilization, paths. One is like military or warfare. The other one is technology. The other one is science, and then the other one is exploration. And so with the military, you're interacting with the physical board because there is a physical hex-based board in the middle. Hex-based map in the middle of the board. And so you start off with locations there, and you 2 of those trees interact with the physical map. Exploration allows you to put new tiles onto the hex map and take resources from it and explore stuff that's going on. And then also the military tree allows you to physically branch out your units and put more of your forces out there and potentially conquer and take over spots that other people have got. So those are 2 of those trees. The other 2 trees, science and technology. Science allows you to kind of get tableau cards that give you points and give you abilities and give you powers as you progress them up the rank from purchased to middle to high tier. And then the science tree is really all about like inadvertently or somewhat randomly pushing up the other tracks. It allows you, there's a dice that you roll that allows you to randomly go up one of the other tracks, and there's some other stuff going on. And then as you push up each of those tracks, you can unlock landmarks. So out of the 3 elements I was talking about, one of them is those tech trees. The other one is the physical hex-based grid or map. And then the third one is a player sheet that is your capital city. And in that capital city, as you unlock structures off of your player mat, you put them in your capital city. And then also, if you are the first person to advance up those trees, sometimes you can gain access to landmarks that are at the like 1/3 and 2/3 sections of each of those trees. There are landmarks that you can get. And so you're kind of doing a spatial puzzle there where you're trying to fully fill out squares. So if you have played Rolling Realms, also from Stegmaier Games, also from Jamey Stegmaier, Rolling Realms allows you to do something similar within the Tapestry version of that because it's based off of the game. And so it really is, there's grids, and you're trying to fill out those grids with the small buildings from your player mat and the larger landmarks from the tech trees. So that's what it is. Why I have it. I have it specifically because Stegmaier Games has been one of the catalogs or one of the publishers that I have most consistently and most frequently done reviews of in the 2.5 or more years that I've been doing this. And I started out with written reviews, and then I have moved to trying to do video. And I still do written reviews because I am at my core a writer rather than a presenter, engager, content creator in a video format. This is new to me. So I still do written reviews, but this is a company that I've done a lot of reviews of their games for. So this is originally how I got it, is I got it to write a review for it. And then I liked it, and I bought plans and ploys on my own, and then I've got arts and architecture because I signed up to try and review it, and I was fortunate enough to be picked as one of the people to review it, so I need to review that, which will probably be in written form because that's natural to me. I haven't started doing reviews at all on this. But, man, I've talked a lot, and I have not moved very far down my format. So, that's why I have it. When did I get this? I got this. Oof, this was a while ago. I got this back when we lived in Texas. So that's been over 1.5 years now. Getting close to 2 years. So almost 2 years ago probably is when I got this. This was pretty early on in my review or content creation cycle or, experience. So that's when I got it. What I like about it, I find this to be a very calm game. I think some people who maybe came or approached it based off it being a civilization game were put off by the fact that it had just tech trees, and it seems, to a degree, a civilization game, unless you're playing like Civilization on the computer, is abstract. A lot of civilization games are abstract. I think that Through the Ages, which I've played, the digital version of that board game, is very abstract because it's a board game implementation of a video game of a board game. I can't even really... The digital version certainly is. There's so many layers of like translation there that something gets lost. I'm not saying that's a bad game. I don't get hate for that. But I don't find I don't find a lot of the criticisms about Tapestry to be relevant to me. My wife and I really like this. She kicks my butt every time we play. She's just much better than I am at games where your process, your strategy is rarely obstructed by other players. Sometimes with the military tracks or the exploration tracks, you might inadvertently frustrate the plans of another player, but really you just, with the Tapestry cards that you improve or upgrade your civilization with the spatial puzzler of the capital city, and then with your personal advancements through the tracks, there's not a lot of negative or aggressively upfront player interaction. And because of that, I'm just not good at it. I'm much better at messing with other players in games, and Amber is specifically much better at just coming up with a plan and following through with it and doing it to a T. She destroys me in this game, usually by over 30 points or more every single game. So but I just enjoy it. It's just a calm, relaxing gameplay. Because you don't have to worry as much about what someone's doing. It's a game that you can just talk over it. I mean, yes, on your turn you need to focus on what you're doing, but when it's the other person's turn, you can relax, chat with them, figure stuff out. Amber and I just we enjoy sitting down and having a good night, talking to each other while playing Tapestry. So that's why I like it. Will it leave? I don't know. I would probably assume not for a while. Actually, one thing that I would probably enjoy is once I get through doing this expansion, is if they eventually do what they did with Scythe and have a bigger box. I kind of like, I've got 2 expansions for it now. I would prefer to have a larger box that fits everything, specifically because I don't like unnecessary box spaces because I tried to keep a smaller collection. I just don't have the room currently to house 200 or 300 games or 200 or 300 boxes. So, I don't think it would leave, specifically because it's a game that I enjoy playing with my wife, and I don't get rid of those games because I like spending time with her. So I don't anticipate it leaving. It could at some point leave, but I don't anticipate it leaving anytime soon. Would you like it? I don't know. It depends on what kind of games you like. Once again, as I develop a community, this will be something that makes way more sense to engage with them, because I'm decent with names, so I could probably talk to specific people at this moment and tell them, like, hey, I think you'll like this game. If you like games that have a layer of decision making and strategy making in terms of like how you'll progress and what's the most efficient path for that, I think you would enjoy this, specifically because of those tech trees and figuring out what combination of them, because you can really go far up one, you can go some way up a couple, but like you really have to figure out what synergy works between the civilization that you draw at the beginning of the game, the tapestry cards that you play that adjust the powers of that civilization, the landmark progress you're trying to make, or the capital city map progress you're trying to make, and then the tracks that you're trying to go up. Every game, because there's so many different civilizations and so many different tapestry cards, every game is going to be a different question of where to go and what is efficient. And so if you like discovering that path and figuring out that answer, then I think you would like a game like this. If you go into it knowing that it's not a civilization game in the sense that some people thought it was, you may be less disappointed if you approached it, or if you would have approached it without that context before. So I definitely think that you would do yourself a service of knowing what this game does before you play it, if you're a fan of civilization games, to where you don't necessarily get upset. And then, I think that's it. I spent a lot of time on the first part, and then I tried to move very fast through the other parts. But I have a format now, which makes me feel a little bit more organized. So I've just got it like written in pencil right now, and I have arrows because I moved some sections above other sections. I need to like print it out and type it up because I have issues like that, and I just like a nice little placard for me to keep, like a little note card that's a little bit more official. Also just for visual purposes. But that's it. Yeah, this is Tapestry by Stegmaier Games. I like it a lot. I need to figure out the angle thing, because when I was with Sheer and Jesse, I did not realize at all about glare. But it just depends. Also, eventually this setup may not be a thing, because I may have an official studio setup, not in my house. If that works. I hope it does work. But all I have left to do is just figure out a thumbnail. So I need to... Last episode I did the Spider-Man 3 finger guns, but I need to come up with a different one now. Should I do Spider-Man again? No, but that's just like, I don't want to be derivative, I want to come up with something that makes sense. So, no, I like Spider-Man. Here we go. I'm done. Boop. Bye. Speaking of something that Alex said, which I think I addressed Alex in the last video, but speaking of something he said, in his Week in Review video, that he talked about. He did say, if you have any friendly but critical or constructive feedback, let me know. Let me know, because I have a format now. But if you don't like the format or you want something added to the format, I would happily consider it. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know. And now I'm going to do that thing where, because I don't have like I really don't do a lot of editing, which is good for me because it means I'll get more videos out. But because of that, it means I think you guys are going to watch me turn on and turn off each video all the time, just because I don't really want to deal with that or worrying about it. Maybe I'll worry about it at some point. But for right now, because I'm filming it on my computer or on my phone, it's really obnoxious to edit on the phone. And I don't want to deal with doing other stuff. So I think you've probably left by now. It's okay. But I'm going to turn it off.